I'm Richard Peterson.
And I'm Christy Peterson.
And welcome to our new YouTube channel, Fulfill the Game of Life. All right, first we have to start by admitting a mistake.
Yes.
Last night, we went through our entire recording. We had all of our dialogue written out. We went through multiple videos. We had over an hour worth of footage. We plugged it into the computer, started editing and putting it together, and it was so boring we actually fell asleep.
We didn't even want to give ourselves a thumbs up.
So here we are, we're going at this a second time. It should be a little bit more exciting. We're gonna work really hard hopefully. And we're gonna work really hard to make it not so drawn out. But that being said, we're excited to get going, so let's go. Today we're here with a monumental announcement, a monumental achievement in our life. We've reached financial independence. We now have the ability to walk away from our corporate jobs into greener pastures.
And if you can show the patience you would afford a 7-year-old performing at a school play, and stay tuned to the end of this video, we will share what those greener pastures look like.
So, just like every other YouTube channel, this is the good time for us to say, go ahead, click the subscribe button, and if you like this, give us a thumbs up. Or if you feel sorry for us, give us a thumbs up. But in either case, go ahead, hit subscribe, and give us a thumbs up.
As you may have guessed, we are so excited and ready to start this new chapter in our life. Now, forgive us for our video, our production, and our speaking skills. We're sure we're going to get better as time goes on. Just listen to what we say and not how we say it.
Now, for the people who've known me for quite a few years, you know I've worked really hard to help other people. So leaving the workforce early has actually left a gap that I felt like I needed to fill. And hence, here we are with the YouTube channel. We think, and we're excited to share the information that has brought us to this point in our life, the goal of reaching financial independence. We really believe that we can help people get there, and we want to share that.
Although this is our first video, we already have a list of over 80 videos that we want to make. Our topics are going to range from how to achieve financial independence, how to know when you're financially ready to retire, what retirement really looks like, where should you consider retiring, and why retiring abroad makes retirement easier and more adventurous.
Now look, I'm sure most of you, or some of you, are listening to this and the first thing that's going through your mind is, there is just no way that I can retire. I don't see it coming. I am working and I'm gonna work just as long as that I can see the future. But let me tell you, this is possible, absolutely possible. We're gonna walk you through how to see life differently, how to make the right decisions to enable early retirement. And you trust me, if you're young enough, doing this is a guaranteed thing. And what is young enough? We'll work our way through the math. We're really gonna walk through examples and show you how long it would take to get to where we're at to be ready to retire early.
So before we tell you what our plans are, we would like to tell you a bit about ourselves and help you get to know us and our beginnings.
So we want to go into letting you know who we are. And why would we want to let you know who we are? Why do we think that's important? Well, because we're probably much more alike than you might guess. We're both from very humble beginnings. We've arrived at financial independence not through donation, not through family inheritance. We've arrived through our own processes, our own learning, and our own decision-making skills. And we're proud of that. But that also gives us even more confidence that not only can we achieve it, but we can teach other people how to achieve it. I was raised in a small town in Alabama. I have an older sister, a wonderful older sister, And I was raised by parents who were really hardworking parents, but they weren't financially successful parents.
And I was born to hardworking parents as well. They were second-generation immigrants. I remember my mother often working 2 jobs. Like most people, they both focused on putting a roof over our heads and food on the table.
So, it's fair to say that we've reached our goal in many ways by self-education and self-enlightenment. Our parents did teach us that working hard is important, and it is important, and it leads to success, but they simply didn't teach us about money. They didn't teach us about stocks, they didn't teach us about bonds, they didn't teach us about mutual funds or just investing in general. They didn't teach us about debt, they didn't really teach us about interest, and most importantly, they didn't really teach us the difference between assets and liabilities. We know that these fundamental lessons that we've learned over our time are what's critical to making the good decisions to go forward and to achieve financial independence before you're too old to enjoy it.
They taught me, my sister, and my brother about the necessities of life: a house, transportation, food. It is because of these humble beginnings that we don't think that learning the hard way is the best way. Our hope is to tell you what we have learned over our successful path so that you can achieve and hopefully achieve much more, much faster.
So just in these short few minutes, you've already started to picture who we're talking to. We're not really talking to the privileged people. We're not talking to the people who had the fortune of having parents who did teach them about finance and who did teach them lessons and values of financial security. We're teaching the people who had to learn it and who just didn't have that opportunity. If your parents taught you these financial lessons, I really believe you should consider yourself lucky. I've been around the workforce for an awful long time, and I know a lot of people, and it is my belief that rarely do families pass really good financial information and financial learnings through each generation. Well, we're here to help your generation and our generation. Hopefully, our offspring will finally look away from YouTube and their phones long enough to hear the message that we're trying to send, because we're going to map this thing out through videos to ensure your success, ensure their success, and if you do this and do this well, not only will you learn and succeed yourself, you will teach your own children and your grandchildren, so your next generation will be part of the few who get the information to help lead to a successful financial life. So look, I absolutely know that we can teach this. I'm so certain that this could be done so well, so repeatedly, if you start early enough. If I had been taught these lessons when I were in my teens, or even in my early 20s, I'm certain I could have retired and walked away, been financially independent by the time I was 35. I'm absolutely certain of it.
So, how are we planning on doing this? Well, we're going to start today with the goal of sharing our vision for a compelling retirement.
You see, it is our belief. It's step number one. If you can't see retirement clearly, you simply won't be motivated to make the decisions that enable retirement to get here quickly. Sometimes in life, you're going to find out that if your goal of retirement is your number one priority, it will motivate you to forego some of the short-term gratification decisions that cost an extreme amount of money, but when you convert it to the amount of years that it pulls back off your retirement, that you have to walk into work every single day, once you can see that vision, you will make different decisions. And it's step number one. You must learn to prioritize the decisions that enable financial independence.
But before we tell you our plans, sharing an additional part of our background is critical to understanding why our vision of retirement is so clear and so full of excitement.
One of the most influential things in my life, which I'm most grateful for, honestly, of all of my years working in the corporate world, was the privilege to travel. Largely because of jobs in the corporate world, I've been able to see a lot of the world. I have been in the United States. I've been to about 40 states, 40 plus states. I've been to the Orient. I've been to China. I've been to Japan. I've been all over Europe, and Mexico, and Central America. And here's why that is so important. Every single trip through my career has been a very positive interaction. It's been a very eye-opening experience, never a threatening experience, never an at-risk experience. It was just the joy of seeing a new world, minus the occasional airport delay, of course.
And I was a bit later to travel, and to be honest, I was nervous, even a bit fearful to travel and to relocate. There's just an unspoken comfort that comes with familiar people and being around your family and just always having familiar surroundings.
You know, there's no doubt that it's within human beings, just naturally who we are, to be creatures of habit. We enjoy the security of the same people and the same agenda, the same daily routine. That's just who people are. So in order to start thinking differently about retirement, you have to challenge that thought, or we believe you have to challenge that thought. Doesn't mean that you can't retire living in the same city that you were raised, but you have to combat the thoughts of, am I going to be bored? What am I going to do every day? This human trait is so prevalent that I heard on the radio, and I remember it was so impactful, and this was over 2 decades ago, so I honestly can't remember the exact numbers, so forgive me for that. But it was something close to 85 to 90% of every human being never moves further than 10 miles from where they were born. That tells you so much about human nature and the comfort that comes with those familiar surroundings and family and people.
Well, we can tell you that if you decide to take the first step to moving to a new city or traveling to another country, you will never see the world the same again. I promise you. We have both lived in different cities in the US, and one thing is clear. The first 2 years in a new place simply creates excitement for the new experiences and new surroundings.
So what we're going to try to give you is the feeling that you have when you go on vacation. You go on vacation 1 week out of the year, 2 weeks out of the year. You go to an area that you're not familiar with, and you start pulling up the vacation maps. You start pulling up the phone. You start saying, what are we going to do today that's different than what we've done before? Well, when you move around and you make conscious decisions to go live in different places, well, no longer are there too many things to see in a short amount of time. You get to slow your life down. And you get to go see the things that are in close proximity. So it's a true excitement of a world. So imagine just through my life in America, living in Arizona, the mountains in Arizona, but the Grand Canyon's in driving distance. It was a beautiful thing to behold. Into North Carolina, South Carolina, and the Grand Canyon is no doubt rivaled by the Smoky Mountains. The Blue Ridge Parkway and the waterfalls is just something to behold. And coming down to central Georgia, south central Georgia, in Vidalia, we're in driving distance from Savannah, Georgia, with the Spanish moss hanging on the trees and alligators really in the wild. Seeing those things is what we call living. It's the excitement of seeing something you haven't seen before.
And about 3 years ago, we went on our anniversary trip to Europe, And I will admit, I was so nervous. I simply didn't know what to expect. But after the trip, meeting the people there, they were so kind and nice. And seeing the different cultures and the sites that were hundreds of years old. And all I could think of was, when are we going back?
Absolutely. So look, we've given you some of our background and our history that somehow helps piece together why we see retirement the way that we see it, and why we're so excited to have finally reached a point of financial independence where we can actually experience this as a lifestyle.
So today we are announcing that in a few weeks, we are moving to Portugal.
Yeah, baby, yeah. So look, don't be embarrassed if you're not sure where Portugal is. I'm gonna put a map up so you can see it here. Probably just scrolled by just then. I knew it was in Europe. I had to Google exactly where it was. Portugal is the most southwestern country of Europe, which I probably don't need to tell you because I just showed you a map. So let's move on.
We plan to make a series of videos on how to acquire a visa, which requires a bit of work, but to continue the excitement of our retirement, we're not just moving to Portugal and settling down. We plan to Airbnb all over Portugal, from the mountains to the endless shorelines, to the big cities and the countryside. Every month, we will be in a different location. And soon after that, we plan to do the same thing in Spain, Italy, France, Greece, England, Ireland, Denmark, just all over Europe.
And that's not going to be the end, honestly. If everything works as we have laid out, if the finances come in the way we expect them to come in, we're not going to just stop in Europe. We're going to experience Asia and Australia and South America and Central America. We're going to be able to see the world, and you're going to be shocked when we walk you through this at how accomplishable this is, how real this is for the average person making good, informed decisions.
So we hope we've achieved our goal of giving you an exciting vision of our future and what your future can be. We hope that you are motivated to learn to be financially aware and to make the decisions that will help you to achieve your dreams.
So look, I'm gonna go back to the comment I made at the beginning. You may be thinking right now, this is a pipe dream, but you trust me, this is not. We're gonna walk each step of this over a series of videos. We're gonna show you how the math works, and we're gonna show you some strategies that are almost for certain that'll lead you to the same place that we are. And if you start this early enough, you'll beat us by a long shot. If you're later in life, why would you still hang around? It's going to be tough, and the fact is it is going to be tough. But if you have children and you have grandchildren, teaching these lessons will pay off through the generations.
So if you've enjoyed this video, or you just feel sorry for us at our first attempt to make a video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up.
Or at a minimum, if this is compelling enough to help you change your life, and if it's not, that's okay. But eventually you'll get bored. Tune us in. Maybe there's enough lessons to help you and to help your children, and pass that information along just as quickly as you can, just like we're trying to do as parents.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yep.